Okay, y'all, so I have a song in my head this morning that I can't seem to get out of my head. So see if you know this one. Free your mind and the rest will follow. And I'm not going to sing the rest of the song because I don't have a singing voice. But think about that for a second. Free your mind. What we're going to talk about today is that fear's not real. And you're going to be like, what? I'm afraid of a lot of things, and I can assure you the way that I feel about it is completely real. But y'all, I've been listening to a book by Darren Hardy called Entrepreneurial Roller Coaster. And in it today, he talked about how fear is really not real. It's not. It's our mind playing tricks on us. It is our mind telling us to be afraid of something, and we make mountains out of molehills in our head. And we tell ourselves that it is the scariest thing ever, and the worst is going to happen. And because of that, we work ourselves up into a tizzy where we're so afraid to do the action because we are afraid of what's going to happen. You know, it's so funny because, like, I'm going to use a couple of examples of things that I've experienced and that I've watched my children experience where fear is involved. But let's talk about different things that we might be afraid of. We might be afraid of heights. We might be afraid of striking out, of failing, of rejection, of swinging a baseball bat, like, again, going with striking out. Like, y'all, there are so many things. Jumping off a cliff, okay? There's a lot of things we can be afraid of. But when you sit down and you really think about your fear and where it stems from and where it comes from, you got to ask yourself, is this fear really real? So I'm going to share 6 ways to conquer fear today. And the first one is get real with yourself. Ask yourself really and truly, what is that fear and why is it there, okay? So when I think about my child, Nathaniel, my oldest 8-year-old, my oldest son, who is 8, I mean, and when he goes up to bat, y'all, he gets nervous and he gets afraid of striking out. So what does that do? It actually keeps him from swinging the bat as hard as he can and as hard as he should. He doesn't commit to the swing because he's so afraid of striking out. But what I keep telling him is, who cares? If the worst that's going to happen is that you're going to strike out, who cares? Who cares? So he's afraid of something that's actually causing him to not do as well as he can. He's got to let go of that fear. That fear is not real. He just needs to be like, I'm going to swing, and if I strike out, I'm not afraid of that. But I don't want to be that person that doesn't swing with my full force. And that's how I want him to feel. So number 1, get real and really evaluate, what is that fear and why is it there? Number 2, it's the fear of fear that we fear. Okay, it's kind of a tongue twister, but have you ever thought of that? It's the fear of fear that we're actually afraid of. So if you can acknowledge that, you know, my husband is afraid of heights, which is really funny because he was an F-15 fighter pilot for 21 years. So I often make fun of him because I'm like, how in the world could you possibly be afraid of heights when you would fly thousands of feet in the air with a glass ceiling over your head? He wasn't afraid up there because he was in control. But where heights bother him is if we were in Italy one time, we were on a really windy road. And the road curved, like a hard right angle. And in front of us was a cliff. The feeling and the fear of that cliff being there freaks him out. So what is he afraid of? He's afraid of the fear of fear. Okay? He's fine, and he doesn't need to be afraid of that because he's on a road, he's not going anywhere, and it's totally fine. But it's a mindset that he's created, therefore he lives in fear of heights. And so you've got to recognize that too. All right, number 3. I love number 3. 20 seconds of courage is how you conquer fear. So I'm going to give you an example. When I was in real estate, and I had to cold call every day, all the time. I hated it. But if I could muster up the courage to pick up that phone and make that call, it only took me about 20 seconds. So if you can find 20 seconds to do the action that you are most afraid of and make yourself do it over and over again, guess what? It gets easier. That fear goes away. You no longer are afraid. You realize that fear was a waste of time. You know what? The worst that's going to happen in that example is that they're going to tell me no on the other end. They're going to reject me. Fear of rejection can be a real emotion, but are we going to implode? Are we going to fall over and die if someone tells us no or rejects us? Absolutely not. And the rejection will actually make you stronger and better. And actually it makes you kind of callous to it. So if somebody says no to you, you're like, okay, great. You're not the one I'm supposed to work with. And you move on. So make yourself find courage, 20 seconds of courage 3 times a day. For whatever different things that you deal with where your mind tells you, ooh, I'm afraid of that. I don't want to do that. Make yourself do it 3 times. 3 times a day, 20 seconds, y'all. I promise it's a game changer. All right, number 4. Focus on the tasks and not the outcome. I love this. I absolutely love this because so much of the time we can get so wrapped up in what we want to achieve or what we think might happen that we won't actually do the task because the fear of it stifles us. It stops us in our tracks and it makes us go, ugh, I'm so afraid that they're going to tell me no. I'm so afraid I'm going to fall flat on my face. I'm so afraid I'm going to strike out that I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to swing that bat. I'm not going to pick up that phone. And so we won't do the task. But if you won't let your mind go there and you will simply think about pick up the phone, make the call, swing the bat, hit the ball. Like if you think about it in those terms and stop focusing on what might happen after, y'all, it's got to become a win-win. Like so many times we worry about things that never happen. I hate worrying. I don't worry that much. But when I fall into those traps of worrying, I'm like, why am I wasting my energy? It's not worth it. So focus on the tasks. Do the tasks. The outcome will be what it is. So spending time fearing it is not worth your time and effort. It's not. So don't do it. So try that and see if that helps you. Number 5, make it a habit to do the things you fear the most. Pretty simple, right? I mean, it sounds simple. So if you're afraid of swinging the bat, if you're afraid of cold calling, if you're afraid of introducing yourself to a total stranger at a party where you know no one, if you're afraid of doing those things, do it over and over and over again. Come out of your comfort zone. Extend yourself. Because the more that you do that, one day you're going to wake up and there will not be a fear anymore of that thing that used to completely paralyze you. I can assure you of that. You know, after 7 years of working in real estate, I got much better about being rejected. I know that sounds funny, but it's true. I got better about being rejected and getting told no, but I wasn't completely callous to it. You fast forward now as a coach. I get told no every day. I reach out to people. I'm trying to get them to join my team and work alongside me or join my accountability group and improve their health and fitness. And I hear no every single day. But y'all, I'm okay with that because the more people I ask, the more no's I'm going to hear, but then I'm eventually going to hear a yes. And I'm eventually going to get the opportunity and the honor to help somebody improve their life. So the no's are just stepping stones. They're part of the process. I'm not afraid of them. So I make myself do that action over and over and over again every single day because that's what it's going to take. So make yourself do the thing you fear the most. Make it a habit, and it will no longer be a fear. I can guarantee you that. All right, number 6 of the 6 ways to conquer fear. Make fear and failure fun. That sounds kind of crazy, doesn't it? Okay, so here's the thing. A lot of us have a fear of failing. Maybe it's a fear of failing in our business, a fear of failing when we start our health and fitness journey, as a parent maybe, in our marriage, in a sport that we're doing. We're so afraid of failing. So we have a fear of failing. But here's the thing that I want you to realize. Anything worth achieving is going to come with failure. And here is the thing to celebrate. Failure is something to celebrate. I know you might think I'm completely crazy, but y'all, it's true. Because if you're failing, you're growing. If you're growing, you are getting better. If you're getting better, you're that much closer to succeeding. If you're not trying, you're never going to fail. Therefore, you're never going to succeed. So you have to embrace failure. You actually have to love it, because failure is truly how you move forward and make progress every single day. It's just that simple. So fear's not real. It's something that we conjure up in our head. And the only way we get control of it and we can deal with it is by using these 6 ways to conquer fear that are graciously provided by Darren Hardy in his book that I'm listening to, and apply them. Push yourself out of your comfort zone. Say no to being afraid. Say yes to how awesome you are and what your true potential is, and watch yourself skyrocket. In the area that you used to be paralyzed, now you will soar, okay? So I had to share this with y'all. I'm super passionate about this. And I pray that it helps you. I pray that it inspires you, it enlightens you, and it gives you extra fuel in your gut to believe that you are capable of anything that you want to do. And that fear you feel is just a bunch of hooey. It's not important. It's not something to pay attention to. Push through it. Do it anyway. It will be amazing if you do. Remember, every step you take is progress and it matters. Y'all have a great day. Thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you soon.